welcome to the Lighten Up podcast with Lauren Polly, your invitation for living on the lighter side of life. I'm Lauren Polly, and I am delighted you've chosen to join me today for episode 163, Bye-Bye Boredom. I just did a free call about this today with my audience, all about moving beyond boredom and all the sneaky ways it can show up in our life and our living. I kind of got the hit that perhaps a podcast episode would contribute to you all also. So I wanted to put this together just to be able to pop some interest, pop some zest back into your life and your living, take away the boredom blues, and also invite you into a different space with it all, where we're not going into fight or flight, where either I'm bored and I'm not doing anything, I've got low energy, I've got low interest, and I'm also not flipping to the opposite, where I get frenzied and I have to do so much and get overwhelmed in the process. These are two polar opposites that are kind of the same side or different sides to the same coin. They both have to do with getting bored and kind of checking out with your life. You know, if you are low interest and you're fatigued, you're overwhelmed, your body gets tired, it's very easy to kind of label that as being bored and not having the oomph to get moving and grooving. On the opposite end too, it's where we try to fix that by moving and pushing and kind of taking a lot of effort and hard work to get things moving in our lives. My invitation today on this show is what is beyond boredom. And when you say bye-bye to boredom, you actually get to have this relaxed space of creation. And, you know, creation is a huge kind of topic where you can talk about creative projects or business, if you're an entrepreneur, job creation. But more than that, I like playing with it in terms of life creation. What are you creating as the tapestry of your life? The hues, the colors, the tastes, the textures, the experiences that actually you get to have as you're walking through this journey of your life. And I know a lot of you out there are really on this quest of what's next and desiring for more, kind of up-leveling what you do have and wanting just to add to it, to have a more rich way of living. The boredom topic and those two extremes goes hand in hand with this, leading what is next for you and taking that marching journey forward. You know, sometimes it's hard to get going if we're low energy or lack or interest. Sometimes it's hard to get going too in a real and true way if we're frenetic and into the doing overwhelm of it all. Well, what if instead there was a different possibility? And even right now, as we talk, can you just allow yourself to relax and soften a bit? Whatever your to-do list is today that may be boring you, the monotony of it all, but also the busyness of it all too. And wherever your stress response is up and your adrenals are going and you're a little bit spinny and frenetic, can you just take a second to pause and breathe? The breath is a great gateway. The breath brings in space. You can actually expand your energy as well as you do that. Immediately and physiologically, the breath will bring you out of fight or flight, which is the sympathetic nervous system, the overdrive, the overpush, the hard work. And it will bring you into parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and restore. So your body gets to relax. Being able to be in this space, what can you choose differently as you move forward? Now into that space and into that relaxation, don't go into overdrive again, but start to see what can spark some aliveness and some energy for you. What could you move on today? What could you engage with today that would actually light you up with a sense of possibility? Not kick you into overdrive and frenetic doing and busyness, but actually have a space to it with an interest, with an aliveness, so that this relaxed space of creation is way beyond boredom, way beyond overwhelm and doing, and way beyond this lack of energy and lack of interest. This is a really cool way to work with these two opposite extremes. I say most people that I work with in coaching, they kind of operate more dominantly on one side than the other, but most all of them have these extremes at play in one way or the other. So whether you tend to be more low interest and low energy and just exhausted most of the time, you perhaps need more of that energy of taking the breath and actually looking at what will light you up and what will generate a little bit more intensity in your body to get you up and moving. Those of you who are more dominant on the other end and are just super busy and kind of say yes to everything, even though those things don't light you up with promise and possibility. Or those of you who have huge expectations put on you, a lot of stuff to do for your job, your career, other people. You perhaps may need to play a bit more with that breath away from the stress response, that rest into the rest and restore parasympathetic nervous system. But it's not that you come out of overwhelm and go into no whelm or no energy. And it's not that you go from low energy or lack of interest to the opposite extreme and start to run around crazy. That's what most people do. They go to either ends of these opposites. What I'm inviting you to is this space in between. This space where you are absolutely relaxed and present, and your body can relax, and you have more of a sense of space. It opens your eyes, it opens your heart, it opens your awareness to see other possibilities, to make clearer, conscious choices of where you're spending your resources. And truly, that spending of the resources comes in with the second part of that question. What choice can you make today to actually enliven your energy? Wake up your creative spark, your enthusiasm for your life experiences. What choices do you have there? And choice can be like an action step, absolutely a creative project. It can also be a different way to engage what's already in your life. You know, how often do you engage with the people in your life with a lack of enthusiasm? You've just kind of gotten used to your romantic partner or to your children or to your day-to-day job. It's just, it is what it is. That's the boredom energy creeping back in again, right? What if you could actually start to look at how you're engaging with the things in your life, if they're still serving you, to re-enliven that creative spark? And to also maybe take a hard look at those things that you're engaging with that aren't serving you anymore. Perhaps it's time to go in and start pruning. If you're in overwhelm, if you're in exhaustion, if you've got tons of things going on and are feeling pulled in every direction, it's really helpful to take an honest look, and frequently, not just like once a year like most of us do at the New Year's mark, but frequently looking at what am I engaging with? Where am I spending my time, my money, my energy? Who am I engaging with and speaking to on a day-to-day basis? What of those things and what of those peoples actually serves my greater creative living? And what aren't? Who isn't? And perhaps it's time to actually start shifting my resources to something or someone different. A lot of times when we get exhausted or have that fatigue factor, it's because we have people pulling on us and people who really aren't actually contributing, or projects that really aren't contributing. Sometimes things just last a season, they contribute what they do, and for some reason we have a really hard time letting go of them. What if now was a time to loosen your grip and to take that first energy we played with, that relaxation, that space, and just let it go? What if you could also apply that to the things you've been pushing at, trying to get them off the ground? How often do we try to create things that way, where if I just keep my hard focus on it and keep throwing energy at it, eventually we'll get moving? In the process, what we usually do is kind of exhaust ourselves. It's like beating your head against a brick wall, expecting the wall to move. Nope. Take a step back, take a breath, and relook at your options. There is truly a space of creation that is available that actually allows you to enjoy. It allows you to have clarity with where you're going, clarity on the elements of your life and your living that actually support you and are generative and are in creative mode, and clarity to have eyes on the things that aren't and what to do about them, to be able to actually have more energy for you and where you want to go. There's also a beautiful courage factor. And for me, the courage comes in with having a sense of faith in the journey, having a sense of trust in yourself and what you're choosing and where you're going. And again, that relaxation quality comes in because if you actually had faith in the process, if you had trust in yourself and what you were creating, And if you had that deeper knowing of where you want to go in the future, what's next for you, would you actually be able to take a breath, take a space, and relax along the way a bit more? What enjoyment factor could actually be born from that? Creating what is next for you doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be this flip-flop of energy of like low energy into high energy and low energy into high energy. Quite frankly, that's not sustainable. And I know all of you out there have probably had those experiences where you were flipping back and forth. You're high, you're low, you're high, you're low. What's possible in the middle? And if you had clarity, if you had courage along the way, would you actually be able to have fun as well? I have an amazing 3-week program coming up called Blaze, How to Lead What is Next for You with Clarity, Courage, and Outrageous Fun. It is definitely kicking boredom in the tush and saying goodbye to that in all these different ways. And it's really inviting this space into your day-to-day living, all of the elements, all of the fronts of your living, having your creative zest and your enthusiasm and your engagement in everything that you touch, while also having that relaxed space, that breathing room, and really that faith, that trust in yourself along the way to know you're going to get where you're going. You are where you are right now, and things around you are here to facilitate you. They are here to teach you and to change you and to adore you. Nothing is ever wrong, and nothing truly is ever right either. They're just part of the process as our ways through this delicious tapestry of life. Really and truly, what is next for you, and how can you create it with way more ease, way more clarity, and way more fun than you could possibly imagine? Are you ready for more? And if so, Blaze, this 3-week program I have coming up starting on July 22nd, may be the perfect kickoff point for you. Being able to spend some space, some time with a 3-week series, and also a live one-to-one with me where we can get an action plan together, maybe just the ticket to start looking at how to shake off the boredom, the lack of energy, and the overdrive you use to compensate for it all. What is truly possible for your life and your living? What is next for you that you may not have turned fully towards yet and committed to? And what is it that you can actually start looking at that would generate your life in maybe a whole new direction, and perhaps the same direction you're heading in, but in a way more generative, fun way? The link to join us is in the show write-up. Have an amazing week, and as always, I will chat with you next Tuesday.